With Louisiana Lafeyette, to my right, we have head coach Michael Lotif, Christina Hamilton, Samantha Walsh, and Lexi Elkins. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Latif.
All right. I'm proud of my kids. I always will be. You get on a big stage, obviously, and you want to play your best softball. And that's not what happened tonight. But in athletics, whether it's softball or any athletics, you see it happen all the time. My most recent memory, just talked about it in the locker room a little bit, was with the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. You get on that big stage, you prepare, you're ready, you've worked hard, you want to do your best, you're excited, the venue's good, everything's rolling, and you don't play your best. And why? Or I don't know that, I don't know the answer to that right now. And I told my kids, we just had a little discussion about it. The first thing you have to do is be thankful, first of all, for the opportunity that you just were given. And then the next thing, just have to have a short-term memory. You can't be labeled by one performance. It's about fighting and surviving, and that's what we plan on doing. I'm proud of our fans. I think our fans were loud, and they kept trying to motivate us and get us into it. And we never found our rhythm, but that's the game. It's a tough game, and tonight just wasn't our night.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go to the floor for some questions.
Talk to Christina. I mean, you just talk about your performance. It seemed like they got on you early, got an early run, some errors, defense didn't help out, but on a few plays. But just tell me how it felt out there, against a really tough team. They really seemed to attack you guys from the get-go.
I feel like I just didn't do a very good job of hitting my spots and making my pitches move like they were supposed to. It wasn't consistent. I feel like I had some good at-bats, but I mean, for the most part, inconsistent pitching, and that's pretty much how that happened.
Lexi and Samantha, if you could both talk a little bit about what Nunley was doing in the circle that maybe kept you guys off balance and what was working for her.
I mean, after the game we talked about it, and it wasn't that we didn't prepare for it or we didn't make adjustments. It just wasn't our game. I mean, I trust that if we faced her again, we'd be able to do our jobs. But, I mean, she was throwing us in and out. She threw that little rise ball sometimes and threw a changeup.
I think we didn't do as good of a job as we needed to sitting on one pitch like we were trying to guess. And at least that was my problem. I'm not going to speak for all the hitters because I'm not sure. But I know instead of sitting on that one pitch, I was guessing when she was going to try and throw off speed, and she had me off balance.
Just a reminder to state your name and affiliation before you ask your question, please.
Chat Washington with the Daily Advertiser Lafayette. Sam, just talk a little bit about the hitting. Like you talked about the pitcher and you not hitting your spots, but she really just came aggressive. Can you compare her to some other pitchers that you've seen over the season? And what was the difference between her, her throwing hard and her pitching today compared to what you've seen all through the postseason?
I don't really think we've seen anybody like her, and that may have been a little bit of the problem. But like she said, if we could see her again, it wouldn't be the same game. Today just wasn't our day.
This is for Samantha and Lexi. Defensive errors tonight obviously lead to 2 runs. Kentucky said they didn't feel any sense of nerves. Did you all feel any nerves out there? Was it anything they were doing in terms of putting pressure on you all? In the short game, what do you feel like maybe contributed to some slip-ups defensively?
I feel like errors come. Like the game, nobody's going to play perfect. There's always going to be an error here and there. And I don't think we were nervous. I think we were in a good place when we went into the game. It happened.
Yeah, like she said, they're just gonna happen. Whenever we came in, we knew that they're gonna be the other 7 best teams in the country playing. So errors are gonna happen. We were in a good place whenever we came in. I don't think nerves got to us. It just again was not our day.
Coach, if you could talk about the kind of lack of timely hitting, was it just part of the game tonight? I mean, you had runners on in 5 different innings and just not able to get them around.
Well, offensively, we've been good for the last month and a half. I mean, this team has not had a bad game, or it's kind of been in a rhythm. And I watch a lot of baseball, I watch a lot of softball, and at some point, you're just not going to have it. I mean, and there's no reason to go soul searching. These kids know how to hit. They're competitors. They wanted to hit tonight. They were prepared. We knew what the other pitcher was going to do. We were prepared for it. We had a plan. These kids know how to hit, and they're going to bounce back. And I'm not going to sit up here and make excuses. But I'm also not going to sit up here and scratch my head either. I love these kids. I love who they are. I love how they compete. I love what they've done. I'll come back on this stage every year and not have our best performance. It's just part of it, and nothing to be ashamed of. I'm proud of them. I want them to be proud of themselves. I want them to learn and grow from their experience and keep loving each other and keep fighting and keep learning and keep growing.
Coach, obviously, like you said, when errors happen, and obviously they happen, but when you don't hit, they obviously kind of manifest themselves. What you try and do to get the team to say, hey, to understand that if you commit errors, things like this could happen. If try and get them to calm down and be more of a defensive-oriented team. I mean, can you do that at this point in the season right now for them to?
Well, that's how we play all year. I mean, we're not a great defensive team. We're not a bad defensive team, but we're not going to play perfect softball. And the expectations when we came into here was not to play perfect softball. If you really start breaking down the box score, you start looking what happened. This kid sitting there saying she didn't throw her best game. She threw a 5-hitter. And she did miss some spots, but she kept a pretty good offensive team on balance. We didn't play great defense, but that's kind of who we are. I mean, you watched us all year. The opening round of regionals, we dropped a little fly ball that a 1200 team could make. So that doesn't ever discourage us. I mean, when we make an error or we don't do something perfect, that's not our plan. We're not trying to be perfect. And we're just trying to play the game with a lot of energy and just keep believing in each other. And I'm proud of these kids. I'm proud of how they play. I'm proud of how hard they fight. I'm proud of who they are. I'm going to keep saying it. I love these kids. I love how they fight. They're good kids, and they wanted to do good on this big stage. And if you got to write something bad, just say the coach. There's bad coaching.
Now, I wouldn't do that,
Yeah,
Coach.
well, it's all right.
Obviously, the next game you're going to be facing either arguably one of the top teams in the country or the defending national champions. What you try and get the team to understand to their mentality? What you're going to be to get them ready for?
Well, we played Oklahoma already. We played them a 3-game series at our place, and obviously we've been prepared for Alabama in either situation. So there's no gimmies at this point. I mean, and hopefully, right now it's all about us, how we recover and where our mindset is, and are we gonna show up and fight? I'm ready to keep playing. I mean, I won't be here Tuesday night. And I don't care what history says, I don't care about none of that. I won't come tomorrow and fight, and let's play. Let's just play it out and see what happens. I mean, we got our reservations till Wednesday night, so might as well stay and play.
This is for Christina. Just what happened on that play on the bunt and the throw to first where it kind of got into right field? Was it a miscommunication? Just a little bit of an issue with the throw over to first? Just what kind of happened?
I made a bad throw. Oh, I spun my shoulders and made a bad throw. I don't really know. I mean, I guess the game was moving a little bit faster than I was expecting it to, but I spun my shoulders and made a bad throw. Tried to throw too hard.
And this is just for all of you. Is it good to have a day off tomorrow just to come back, break things down, or is this the kind of team that wants to get back out and play and, get that kind of bad taste out of the mouth? Sorry if that's a cliche, but what's the approach? Do you guys prefer having a day off, or would you rather be out tomorrow and go?
Lexi, do you want to start?
Okay. I mean, of course we want to play, but I think that we need to keep in mind that it's a quick turnaround, whether it would be next weekend that we play or we would have played 30 minutes from that last game. We just need to get our mindsets right, put that behind us, and win the next pitch.
Samantha?
I mean, she said it all. I mean, right now we're just going to focus on the next game and put this one behind us and just go after it every pitch.
I don't think we have a preference for playing tomorrow or being off tomorrow. Like, it doesn't matter to us. I feel like they both said, we're going to put it behind us and come out there and attack. We're not going to sit here and try to figure out what we did wrong. Like Coach Mike said, we're going to come and learn from our mistakes, and we're going to get better, and we're going to do better, and we're going to play this pitch, and we're going to go after this pitch. And we're just going to keep grinding it out. We're not going to give up. We're here to play. We're here to fight. We're here to win. And we're going to keep going at it.
Anything else?